Hello, my name is Coach East Pearson. I am the president of Ivy Scholar Success, and I have the pleasure to have the golden opportunity to sit here with the president of Wheelock College, Jackie Jenkins-Scott. Madam President, I got to tell you that I'm really honored to have this interview with you. Okay, do you know that you are a trailblazer? and I say that because with tremendous respect, you built like a phenomenal reputation. When you were the president at the Academic Center from 1983 to 2004. And if you can just tell us briefly, how was that experience in terms of how you transform a health center into a national model?
Wow, thank you. And it's a delight to be with you today. I really appreciate and I'm honored to be interviewed. I spent 21 years at Dimmick Community Health Center, and it was a phenomenal part of my life. It is a privilege to be able to participate in transforming a community, transforming a neighborhood, transforming lives. And my work at Dimmick was very special to me, partially because Roxbury is a very special community. Very often people talk about the stresses of urban communities, but so often we forget about the assets of these communities, the history, the commitment, the dedication, the devotion, the phenomenal people. And that's what I think inspired me and inspired so many people who are passionate about the work that was going on at Dimmick Community Health Center. We had an opportunity to try to help meet needs that community had. Part of the things that I was most privileged was, HIV AIDS epidemic was in the early stages of my time at Dimmick. And one of the things we did, we had a courageous board of trustees who put in place the first policy for how we would treat both our patients, our staff, and our community around the HIV/AIDS epidemic.
Wow.
So those were the kinds of things I had the privilege of being a part of. But it was building on the legacy and the history of a phenomenal women's hospital that had existed for over 100 years, and a phenomenal community that had great people, great passion, and great needs. So you kind of put together the foundation that you inherited, the passion of the community to make life better for the people who live there, and the needs that we saw coming forward.
Now, speaking of making life better, you mentioned HIV, okay, and going back to 1983 when you first got on board to be the president of Dimmick. Okay, during that era, I remember that Magic Johnson came forward and he told the world, that he had HIV. Okay, and there was such a strong stigma associated with HIV. Okay, what's your opinion about how we came so far from having a stigma to now we can have a comfortable conversation regarding HIV?
Education is so important in helping people to understand issues, whether it's HIV/AIDS, it's diabetes, it's violence, gun violence. Education is, I think, one of the most important factors of changing any community. And that's what happened with HIV/AIDS. And then, of course, the development of new medicines and new treatments and the commitment to that. And of course, that like so many things, when you see it expanding beyond one community and it becomes something that society has to address. So HIV/AIDS, initially people thought it was just urban,
Exactly.
people of color. Well, no, HIV/AIDS impacts the entire society. And the more we get educated, the more we help people to understand that this is this particular illness, or the same thing we're seeing now with opiates, the more we understand that this impacts the entire society, not just one segment or one slice of society, gun violence and so on. But education, I think, is key to improving society.
Okay. Now, education. I mean, you certainly have come a long way, since Demick. And I mean, what's really incredible about your career is that you transitioned from the health sector, okay, to academia. Okay, how were you able to make that transition from being the president of a health center to now being the president of Wheelock College?
Well, thank you. Well, it's interesting. And now I'm transitioning. I'm transitioning out of Wheelock College at the end of this academic year. I'll be leaving. I feel very, very privileged because, like so many, particularly so many African Americans, we grew up understanding that education is the way out.
Absolutely.
Education changes lives. And education provides opportunity, and we know that. We see it with all the data tells us that if you complete a high school degree, your opportunity for work and job expands. If you complete your college degree, it expands, and so on. So, excuse me. When I decided to leave Demick after 20 years, I announced I was leaving my 20th anniversary there. I knew I was kind of a mission-driven person. I wanted to work in an environment where my values aligned with the institutional values. And I grew up, like so many African Americans, understanding education is critical. It is what our forefathers and mothers envisioned, and that they worked so hard for us to have access to education because so many of them didn't.
Absolutely.
My grandparents did not have an education. I was a first generation college completer in my family. So when I thought about leaving healthcare or leaving a job that I loved at Demick Community Health Center, the education field was an area that I thought aligned with my values and my commitments. And I was very, very fortunate. I had given a commencement address at Wheelock College, and so I had some understanding about what this great institution's commitment to education and the value of particularly early education.
Yes.
So then in the interview process, and I think this is something for the young people that you'll be sharing this video with, we never know what will come to us in our lives. But we are preparing ourselves for opportunities. And so I had worked in healthcare, and there are very many similarities to education and healthcare.
Such as?
Well, for example, in healthcare we work with patients. In education we work with students. Very similar. In healthcare we're thinking about issues of quality. We're thinking about issues of access. We want everyone to have access to good health care. In education, we're thinking about issues of quality, the quality of our educational experiences. We want everyone to have access to good education.
Okay. Now you talk about the quality of education. If you can just tell us briefly about your mission here at Wheelock, particularly in the area, the quality of education here.
So Wheelock College, we are kind of a unique college. Our mission is to improve the lives of children and families. And the college was founded 127 years ago by a visionary, revolutionary woman who believed that early education and access to high quality for the earliest child, preschool, from 0 to 5, provides the potential for that child to reach his or her full potential.